It's just finished. Scotland 4, Denmark 2 at Hampden Park. And for the first time since 1998, 28 years by the time the World Cup gets underway next year, Scotland are off to a World Cup. And I am absolutely buzzing. Well, I say I'm buzzing now. But for 90 minutes, I have been emotionally ruined watching that game. I am emotionally knackered after watching that. But what a spectacular end to a game of football. What a spectacular end to a qualifying campaign for Scotland. Because we've had these nearly moments. We keep on having them. We nearly get there. We set up do or die games and we die. But tonight, we somehow got the job done and we are off to the World Cup. I am so happy. I am so proud of every single one of them. I'm not the biggest fan of certain people in the squad or anything like that. I don't really care tonight. But watching the emotion on those faces, watching Steve Clarke crying at the full-time whistle, you can see how much it means to every single one of them. We are off to the World Cup, but we couldn't do it the simple way, the straightforward way. That is not in the Scottish dictionary. We had to do it the most Scottish way possible. And do you know what? I'm kind of glad. I kind of like it. There's something a little bit romantic about it. It wasn't fun to watch. Well, it was at the end, but I'd be lying if I said I was confident we were going to win that game. But my God, it felt good. When that ball sailed over Kasper Schmeichel's head, when he shot from the halfway line, I was thinking, what are you doing? Pass it, run it into the corners. Why are you shooting? He shot. Oh my God, it might go in. Oh my God, it has gone in. Just incredible. I am so happy right now. This is a feeling I've never experienced before. And I know some people watching this will think, well, this is tin pot. You're celebrating qualifying for a tournament. You haven't actually won anything. But success in football is relative. Success for Scotland in a World Cup campaign is to get to the World Cup, to get to the tournament for the first time in 28 years since 1998. That is successful for us. I appreciate if you are English, French, German, you're watching this. I don't know why you'd be watching if you're German or French, but my point is, if you support one of those nations or others, success to you is minimum quarterfinals. You're expecting, hoping to go on and win it. We don't have that expectancy. It's if we can get there, brilliant. But it's just absolutely fantastic. I was pleased. If you offered me at the start of the qualifying campaign, last game of the qualifiers, home to Denmark, you win, you go to the World Cup, I would have bit your hand off for it. And I'm kind of glad we had to win. Because I think if we had to draw tonight, we would have come out and played for a draw. But the problem with that was that mentality was gone after 3 minutes because Scott McTominay with a sensational overhead kick, and fair play to Gannon Doak because he's our liveliest player. He's the one that's willing to run at defenders. He's got a little bit of the X factor about him, and he's something different in comparison to the rest of them, but he's not necessarily the best in terms of his decision making. We've seen that against Greece. Gannon Doak had opportunities to put the ball in, and he got one right with McTominay's volley, but you've seen what McGinn and Robertson could do as well. So it's that final ball, and he will get there. He's such a young lad. He will get there. But he did it right, and it wasn't the best cross in the world. It wasn't on the plate for McTominay. He had to do an overhead kick, but it was a decent cross, and that was enough. But the finish from McTominay, the audacity, is absolutely sensational. I love McTominay. I've never made a secret of it. I've always loved McTominay as a player. There you go. Wow. Somehow Denmark didn't score an equaliser. I'm not going to pretend anything here. We got battered for the remainder of the half because we were sitting back and trying to protect that 1-0. And I never ever, and I don't think any Scottish person would have believed we were going to win that game 1-0 after scoring after the 3rd minute. There was going to be, let's call it adventures. There was going to be adventures ahead in the game. The penalty, I'm still not convinced it was a penalty. It was a foul. I'm not disputing that. Robertson's foot was on the line, and the contact is on the line, it's a penalty. Again, I'm not disputing that. What I am disputing is whether the contact was actually on the line. His foot was, but where the contact was on the knee, I'm not convinced. Robertson wasn't standing up straight. But regardless, I'll be honest with you, right now, I don't really care. I'm just trying to discuss it because I feel it's the right thing to do. Decent enough penalty by Hoyland, but clumsy from Robertson, I will say that. And then we got a slice of luck. We got a massive, massive slice of luck because it wasn't even a foul. Christensen, it wasn't even a foul. Never mind a second yellow card. That is a shocking decision. That's one of the worst decisions I've seen in football for quite some time. How he's given it. I mean, to be fair, if he thought it was a foul, he's going to have to give a yellow card because McGinn's gone past him. He's on the break. But Christensen does the right thing. He knows he's on a booking, so he doesn't. There's no contact whatsoever. Horrendous decision. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care for two reasons. One, we're off to the World Cup for the first time since 1998. And two, I've seen us get mugged off time and time again over the years being a Scotland fan. I've seen us get mugged off and ripped off by officials. I still have a grievance from that game against Italy all them years ago. So I've seen decisions go against us that are shocking. For once, one went in our favour. So do you know what? I'm not going to apologise. And this isn't anti-Danish. This is anti-referees and pro-Scotland. I'm selfish. I'm biased. I'm Scottish. I want to get to the World Cup. And I don't really care how we did it. In the spirit of the game, it shouldn't have been a red card. But in terms of going to the World Cup, I'm not going to complain at this point. And then Shanklin got the goal from the corner. I thought it might have went straight in immediately from Ferguson. You can see the touch from Shanklin. 2-1 up. Brilliant. Here we go. 4 minutes later, it's 2-all. Denmark were good. Denmark have really good technical players. They moved the ball much, much better than us for the duration of the game. Even when they were down to 10 men, they were still moving the ball better than we were. They were still creating better chances than we were, causing us problems. They made it 2-all. And that clock just seemed to go really quickly. It was just, every time I looked at it, I thought 2 minutes had gone by and it was 5 minutes. And we weren't really creating big opportunities. Against Greece, we created much better chances and we still scored 2, but we lost that game. And time was just running out and it was... Kieran Tierney, what an absolute strike this is. The ball goes in, it comes out, it's a bad first touch and it falls to Kieran Tierney, who just whips it into that far corner. And whilst I'm celebrating, I'm loving it for 2 minutes, straight away it's, hang on a minute, they scored pretty much immediately. They can score again. And the ball went down the other end. And again, you're watching that clock thinking, oh my God. Then it's ticking over. It's 6 minutes added on. We're now into 97.5 minutes on the clock. You're thinking, come on, Baldy, blow up, will you? We need to get to the World Cup here. Che Adams breaks, tries to get a corner, doesn't. Silly decision, should have held on to it. Ken McLean gets it. There's a player on either side. You're thinking, pass it. Let them run into the corner and we've won the game. Just pass it and we've won the game. And he shoots. And I'm going to be honest. I thought, what are you doing? Watching the ball and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Watching it sail over Kasper Schmeichel's head and when it hit the back of the net, that was it. Scotland, we're off to the World Cup. And the emotion, the celebrations in the stand, the emotion on the players' faces, Steve Clarke's face, tears running down people's cheeks because that's how big a deal it is to us. That's how big a deal it is to Scotland. I'm going to be buzzing off this for days now. I'm on cloud 9. I'm so happy. For years, every 4 years, I get the memes come through from my friends. Can you put the bins out for us? We're off to the World Cup. We get that picture that comes through of the Scotland team with a telly in front of it. Here's Scotland getting ready for the World Cup. No more memes. We might get them, right? We might get knocked out after the group stage. And then it'll be a case of, oh, you're home before us. Can you stick the bins out? I'll deal with it then. But between now and then, I am absolutely loving it. And I know people will point out the World Cup's easier to qualify, so on and so forth. I'll be honest with you, I don't care right now. I just do not care. We're off to the World Cup. I am so happy. That game has emotionally ruined me, though. It absolutely ruined me. Happiness, nerves, sadness, anger at Andy Robertson, everything in that game. And this is what you want from football. Being a football fan, regardless of who you support. Well, this is what I always say I want, and therefore assume other people do as well. You want hope, and you want emotion. You want to be pulled in. And for years, I've had emotion supporting Scotland. It's usually the wrong one. It's frustration, it's anger, concern. But tonight, we started the game, we had hope. And we had the emotion from start to finish. But for the first time in 28 years, we've had success. And that is getting to the World Cup. And I know people will dismiss it and argue it's not success. But it's success as far as I'm concerned. And it's my opinion. It means a lot to me to see Scotland go to the World Cup. The last time we were at a World Cup in 98, I was in primary school. I have one memory from that World Cup. That was John Collins scoring. I was at my friend's house. I remember him scoring. That's it. I don't remember anything else about that World Cup. I wasn't even 10. I will have new memories. Now, hopefully they will be better than the memories we've made at the Euros over the last couple of tournaments. And that's conversations we've got to have as Scotland fans between now and then. But they can wait for a few days and a few weeks because we've got a World Cup to prepare for. We've got a World Cup to plan. We're off to the World Cup. And there was something tonight, the minute that national anthem, I mean, I insist we've got the best national anthem there is. I am biased. Our national anthem is incredible, but the minute that was sung and the crowd, the players, the bagpipe player, just everything just builds you up for the game. Then it's over to the players. They've got a job to do. And to a man tonight, they've done it. They got the job done. Unlikely heroes, Kevin Tierney banging one from 25 yards, Kenny McLean scoring from the halfway line, Scott McTominay scoring an overhead kick, Shanklin scoring, good player. Him scoring is not a surprise. Him getting on and scoring for Scotland is a surprising element here. 3 sensational strikes for Scotland tonight. And as a result, for the first time since 1998, after years, after decades of pain, disappointment, anger, being let down, I can look forward to the World Cup, not just as a neutral, but as a Scotland fan. I say I can't wait. I'm here. I'm living it. I'm experiencing it now. As I say, I can't wait for that feeling. I've got it. I don't really. I need to settle down. But you're going to have to give me a couple of weeks to do that. Because this feeling is what football's all about. That emotion, that hope. And then just now and again, football's depending on who you support. But when you're a Scotland and West Ham fan, you don't get too many moments. But now and again, a moment comes along that you will remember for the rest of your life. And I will remember Scott McTominay's overhead kick for the rest of my life. I will remember running around my living room, which hasn't got much furniture in it at the minute because we're in the process of moving house. I'll remember that emotion. Well done. Well done to everyone involved at Scotland tonight. And thank you.